Hello everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our subscribers and welcome to anybody who's watching, whether you're a subscriber or not. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you've enjoyed this video by the end of it, I'm really hoping that you'll click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss another video. Well, as promised, I'm going to do something a little different, which on this channel is perfectly normal. And I'm still using up things that I've not used before, but this time I'm doing it in a slightly different way, which again is nothing new on this channel. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a bit of fun and we're going to make one of these fishing games, but we're going to do this in two parts. It'll be a very long video if I try to do the whole project in one go. So I'm going to split this into a two-part video. So I'll do this part one today and I'll do part two in a day or two. So when I've sorted it out, I haven't prepared the second part yet, but I have prepared the first part. So we're going to make a fish, and in the second part, in part two, as well as the tank that we're going to be putting our fishes in, we will be making a very, very simple fishing line like that, with a hook on the end, and the hook will obviously, she says, pick it up. Like that. So we're going to be making a fishing game. So today we will just make the fish and we'll add in the hook. And then when you come back for our part two, I'll be making the tank and I'll show you how to make this super easy fishing rod. So let me just pop him to one side. I've got 3. I'm only going to make 4 at the moment, but you can make as many of these fish as you like. Now, I've prepared half. You will need to do these. Oops, sorry. You will need to do these fish in 2 halves. They need to face in opposite directions. And what I've used, this is a cross-stitch grid. And all I've done is I drew around the outside and painted it. And you don't have to use, well, I say painted, it's not paint, I used alcohol markers. But you can use whatever colours and patterns you like. Now, if you haven't got a cross-stitch kit, and it's fair enough, well, it's not a kit actually, it was just a pattern from a cross-stitch book. But you can draw your own fish, but just make sure you draw it and then reverse it and trace around it so that they're exactly the same, otherwise they won't match. But if you have got a cross-stitch kit, what you need to do, the only rule, if that's the right word, you need to cut it right on that line at the front, because what you're going to do, once you've drawn and coloured up one, what you need to do, we're going to do the second part, the second half together. Where's my pencil? Oh, it's over there. I thought it was on the other side of the desk. What you need to do is line up that front half like that. Whether this would be the same whether you're making it from a cross-stitch grid or whether you're making it yourself. Although if you're making it yourself, of course, you could make a template and just cut around the whole thing. So if you want me to show you how to do that, if you want me to show you a quick video how you can do that, if you need to do it from scratch, drop me a comment below and I will be happy to show you how to do that. So all I'm doing, this is obviously just, well, it's not really printer paper, but it's not much thicker than printer paper. It's magazine paper. And I'm just using a pencil to press around the outline like that. So that will meet that top part. And I'm going to draw around the eye and the patterns on our fish. So I'm just going to do this, and this will leave an impression in the paper. If you just press, you can use a pen if you want to, but if you use a pencil and it goes through accidentally, you can go over it. If you use an ink pen or a biro, you might not be able to cover it up. So I'm just going around all the major lines that I see. I'm not going to bother too much about that. Oh, I suppose I could do. So if you do that, when I take it away, hopefully, oh yes, you can, just about. In fact, just in case you can't, because it's from here it looks a bit dark, but if I hold it up to the camera, you can see that we've got an impression there now. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do this in real time together, because this is, again, something that we haven't done. And you don't have to be brilliant at colouring. All you need to do, especially if this is for children, because children won't mind if it's not perfect. They will just love playing the game. And I know some adults that would be happy to play this game too. So what I'm doing, the marks that I see around, now make sure I get this right, around all the other markings, I'm just going around them with the main colour of my fish so that I don't go over them accidentally. And it's not a very bright day today, so from here it's looking a bit shadowy, but I don't know what it looks like from your end. When I play the video back after I've recorded it, I'll find out. But I'm not going to draw around the tail, not just yet anyway, because it's a different colour. But I'll draw around that, and I'll draw around the eye because I don't want to fill it in. Oh, I don't need to draw around that yet either. There was another mark that I saw and I couldn't work out what it was, but it's just his mouth. Oh, actually, I don't know why I'm doing that. Dearie me. Concentrate, girl. So what we're going to do now is, now we've coloured or drawn around the marking, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very simply, just the simplest colouring. You don't need any particular magical colouring techniques or particular techniques. All you really need to do, this is a game. It's not a piece of art, it's a game. So all we're doing, I mean, it's a game that we're making a game. So we're not trying to create wonderful pieces of art. So if you want to go around and do some shading and some more specific colouring, of course you can totally do that. That's absolutely fine. So you can make this as precise or in my case, as random as you feel comfortable doing. So it's entirely up to you. If you're one of these that love doing this intricate colouring, and I admire you if you do, then please go ahead. But if you'd rather keep it simple, that's fine too. So what I'm going to do is just put the blue down and grab me green, and we'll just fill this in together, and then when we're done I will show you how we put it together, how we make this fish up. Right, I'll just make sure I don't give him a green eye. We will give him a green tail, or her. We'll give our fish a green tail because the other end was green. But again, this is no great, there's no particular technique here for your colouring. We're just filling in the blanks, really. We're just filling in the white. So that will do for that. And the only other thing we need to colour in is the eye. We must give our fishy an eye. You know, he needs to see where he's going, and we need to give him a mouth, of course. So all I do is I just outline it like that. This is how I do it anyway. I just outline first and then colour in the middle. And we just need to fill in that bit there where the mouth is. There we go. So that's all the colouring done. That didn't take long, did it? So what I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do is cut it down before I cut it out, because it'll be easier. So we're just going to cut that down. We'll put it over there for now. Let me just pop that out just a second. Gives us a bit more room, a bit more viewing room. So what we do is, well, if you're into, or if you're familiar with tropical fish, they look a bit like kissing gouramis. We used to have, when I was a child, my mother used to keep tropical fish in a tank in the living room. It was a heated tank because they were tropical. And I got into terrible trouble one day because the council were outside cutting the grass. Our local council were cutting the lawns, which they did in those days. And we were out, my sister and I were outside playing, and the council man said he saw the fish, or the fish tank, through the window, and he said that they liked worms, and so he gave us some worms from the ground. Well, of course, as young kids, we used to love playing with worms. Well, I did, and so did my sister. And he said, oh, go and feed the fish with worms, they'll like that. So of course, we, not realising, we were only about 9 or 10 at the time. I was 9, I think. My sister was a bit older than me. I think she was about 10, possibly 11. And we didn't realise how heavy the fish tank was, and we lifted the lid. We couldn't hold the weight because, of course, it had a heat lamp in the top. And it went through the back of the tank, and there was 3 gallons of water, and goodness knows, about 80 fish all over the floor flapping about. So we were not very popular. So if you've got a fish tank, especially children, don't do that, you'll get into trouble. So we never did that again. We weren't in too much trouble, actually. Especially my dad, he thought it was hilarious. My mum didn't think it was quite so funny, but my dad thought it was hilarious. But there again, he had a weird sense of humour anyway. So anyway, back to our fish. So once you've cut it out, you'll have 2 fish, or 2 halves of a fish, that look like that. So what we're going to do now, it's easy to keep them, it's easier if you keep them together because it makes it easier to put them together when we close them up. Now, you need a hook. I'm just using a large, what are these things called? Paper clips. And this is a large one. I got mine from a multi-pack in the works. I think they're called Scribblicious, which I think is a fantastic name. And what we're going to do, to make it easier to catch our fish, we're going to bend it up. So just put it against your thumb and bend it a little. And I'm going to pop that down like that. And to begin with, what we're going to do, I'm just going to use some sticky tape or some scotch tape or sellotape, whatever you like to call it. I call it sticky tape, but you can call it whatever you like. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to put a piece of sticky tape over there, make sure that our hook is still bent up. That's so that we can catch our fish later on. And then all we need to do, I'm actually not going to use glue. I did try to use glue when I was trying this video out or this project out, and because of this bit, it didn't stick. So I am actually going to use tape. I'm going to use my red runner tape. You can use double-sided tape if you want to. In fact, that would be brilliant. But of course, you'd have to cut the strips and put them across. But I'm not going to do that today for the purposes of the video. I'm going to do this because it's quicker. And I would suggest that you put tape on both sides of your fish, on the left side and the right side. It'll just make it stronger when it's close together, especially if children are playing with them. Because children can be stronger than we give them credit for, I think, sometimes when they're playing with toys. Especially if they're like me when I was a child. I always wanted to know how things were made, so I used to pull them apart. Which didn't go down too well with my brother when I pulled his Scalextrics apart. Boy, did I get into trouble for that. But anyway, we'll try not to pull this apart. We'll try and put it together. So once you've done that, just line it up carefully and stick it down. And what I would suggest you do, because when you look at it, you think, oh, that looks nice. But sometimes, like that, when you turn it over, if you're anything like me, you haven't done it perfectly accurate. But that's absolutely fine. There's no problem about that. What we do, once it's all done, we take a pair of scissors. I would suggest you use small scissors. And just cut round the overlap, the overhang. Just cut round it. I think that one's got a bit of tape on it, which is why it was proving difficult to cut. So just cut round go round one side. So any overhang or overlap that you see, we'll just cut down nice and simply. And then turn it over. And there's just a tiny weeny bit there, but I'm not too bothered about that. And once you've done that, just brush all the bits out of the way. You have your fishy. And of course, now the rod, I will be making this up on our next video, but all you need to do, let me just slide you out a bit, give you a bit more room. All it is a doweling rod, and it's a piece of string tied to one end, and it's a smaller, and the hook is just a smaller paper clip, but I'll show you how to make that. But I can't lift it up because the camera is not high enough. So what I'm going to have to do is cheat. So we just hook it under like that and pick it up, and we can catch our fishes. So that's how we make, or at least how I make. I'll just bring you back in again so you can have a closer look at the fish. So that's how I did it. I started off with a simple, actually, do you know what? I've still got the original. So they come, if you've got these cross stitch books, if you do cross stitch, that's how they come. They come in 2 parts. So as I said at the beginning of the video, just a quick reminder, because I know I always forget when I'm watching videos from other people, I get so engrossed and the person's talking says something at the beginning and I think, oh yeah, I want to remember that. And by the time we've got to the end, I've totally forgotten what they said unless I thought to write it down. So just to recap, if you want me to show you how to make a template of this, if you haven't got these grids, do pop me a note in the comments and I'll be happy to do a quick video. I doubt it'll be more than about 5 minutes, just to show you how to do the outline and make a template if you haven't got these cross stitch for yourself, or you'd like a bit of guidance, for want of a better word, and I'd be happy to do one for you. But in the next video, unless we do get any requests, I will do that. I'll slip that in first, so try and get them in as soon as you see it. But if we don't get any requests, in the following video, I will be doing a second part to show you how to make the tank, and of course we'll be making the rod. So I hope you can join me for that. And in the meantime, do take care everybody, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye bye for now.